Bienvenidos a Les Chisme con Chantal Aybar. Ay, Dios mío. La comida es mi vida. Yo soy dominicana. Diablo, cuánta mierda yo hablo. Welcome to another episode of Let's Try These. Let's Chisme con Chanti. I have brand identity because this year I rebranded everything as Let's Try This con Chanti for food, Let's Chisme con Chanti for podcast. Y este is in English. But we have amazing content with a lot of things that are happening nowadays that, you know, I never share my opinion. I never share my views. But if you want to know what's happening with the United States, immigration, I brought in an expert because, you guys, I know numbers and food, but everything else, I know as much as you do. So like, subscribe, share. A lot of love to my friends from Hi Hello Labs. And without further ado, Mr. Lawyer Nayef. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, actually, great job.
I was nervous because I'm like, please don't butcher it.
Yeah.
Please don't butcher it. I know exactly how you spell it. Please don't butcher it.
I know sometimes you know people by their handle and you don't know like their name at all. So,
but I started following him on social media because we have a mutual. Well, it's his cousin, my friend, and then I actually fell in love with everything Nayef was doing. You know, on current events, on clients and testimonies. And I'm like, please come talk to me and educate me on everything that's happening. Plus, I just want you to tell your story. And because I love that minority immigrant story, because you're also from like a minority that, you know, people have a lot of feelings and emotions about and a lot of controversy. So just go ahead, talk a little bit about yourself.
all right. Well, how much time do I have? No. So I'm Nayef Mubarak, born in Brooklyn, New York, and immigrant son. I'm not an immigrant. My parents are immigrants from Palestine, from Palestine. I was born in Brooklyn. We moved to Orlando in the late 80s, early 90s.
Wow. So it was a different Orlando then.
It was different. There was like 2 tall buildings, and now we have maybe 6.
So, we made progress.
Yeah,
we made progress.
We're growing.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Bay Ridge, and been practicing immigration for about close to 15 years now. Opened my own firm about 9 years ago this summer it'll be. So
parenthesis, el palestino habla español, so don't talk bad about Nayef, okay?
Yeah, no pueden chismear.
I love it. I love it.
Entiendo todo.
Yeah, and he does have a lot of Latino and Hispanic clients.
Yeah.
I've seen you. I follow your trajectory.
Yeah, it's what we try to do. I'm like, Arabs, my people, my pana, my Venezuelans, we know.
Mi panas.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God,
what it is.
Yeah,
we're I love so much love for my South American, Central American. There's just hospitality.
And
a
what
lot
about
of things.
the islanders?
You
Caribbean.
know, no, I'm just joking. I have, you know, but
too much.
No, between a lot of my first clients were Venezuelan and really have become family over time.
That's awesome.
And then growing up in Central Florida, of course, you have a lot of Latino friends, and everyone's like, you were definitely Latin in another life or something.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And guys, if you are not watching this, if you're only listening, turn off the video because Habibi is like very stylish. Very stylish. I think that's also your Latino side. It's
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Always dressed to the nines, on point.
Thank you for that. You're making me blush and sweat. So,
sorry, I had to. Compliments to the outfit.
thank you so much. You know, I didn't think about it. I just threw this on.
Oh,
This whole thing, I guess.
I love it. So sorry. You moved in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. We moved here. A lot of our family started doing the grocery stores and the gift shops on International Drive and catering to the tourism. You know, working in my dad's gift shop and grocery store, ringing up people from England and all these other things
awesome.
in the 90s, working at the cash register. Actually got my bar results while ringing up somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're like, all the knick-knacks, take your souvenirs.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just started crying, I think.
Really?
I remember, they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, that's the bar. I'm like, all right, weirdo, probably. give me,
but it's big, I passed the bar.
Give me my groceries, you know? So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then but before that, went to UCF, and I was a bachelor's in business and finance. And I worked as a fund accountant for the Bank of New York over here in Lake Mary.
Crazy.
Bored out of my mind. and applied for law school.
Listen, not all bankers are the same, and
Yeah.
not all sectors of banking. Some of them are fun, I promise.
It was like calculating NAV values. Couldn't even tell you what that is today.
And you were like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah, I applied for law school.
You're like, but I feel like law school is even more intense.
You know, I thought it was intense. So I was very practical at that. You know, if I don't get into law school, let me at least have a degree that I could use. So I didn't want to do like political science. And then what do you do with that? How do you feed a family with that kind of degree? Right?
I never understood that either.
So
I remember I'm Dominican. We didn't have that option. I'm like, political science.
Yeah. What does that mean? Your parents are like, no, you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor. Pick one. And so I did always want to be a lawyer. Like my 5th grade book says, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like lawyer.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, for a long time.
So it was there.
It was there. Definitely there. And then after that, I worked for a big firm over here in downtown, became a partner. And then 9 years ago, opened my law firm, Mubarak Law.
Did you ever work for Morgan & Morgan or no?
No.
I feel like it's so big in Orlando.
I think if they maybe had an immigration department, maybe our paths would have crossed. But
no.
I did not.
And what out of all the law that you could have practiced, what the heck made you immigration law?
You know, I thought that's the last thing I want to do. You know how our families are headaches, right? You don't need everybody's aunt and uncle calling you every time they need something. And, you know, I'm going to date myself here, but I loved Entourage. And I was going to be like Ari Gold, just yelling, screaming, and cursing on the phone, getting deals for people like an entertainment lawyer. But then I took a immigration law class and a clinic. And I represented people who are actual Haitian asylum seekers or women of domestic violence while being a law student. After that, there's no turning back. So
wow.
it kind of clicked.
On Haitian asylum seekers, this is so specific.
Yeah. So I represented a couple. That was one of the cases. And the other was a victim of human trafficking, I think from Sri Lanka. And then another person was a victim of domestic violence from Central America. So I had like 3 people who I was able to help during my last year of law school. And then after that, it was kind of like
it touched your heart. You're like,
you know, there's no turning back. I complain about it. It's like a love-hate, but definitely the love over wins. And I'm really thankful that I get to do what I do, help people make a living and make their dreams come true and just kind of be a hippie at the same time, saving lives, you know, trying to at least.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, kudos to you. So it was like since day one, you had the Latinos in your heart and you help them and you're like, I'm going to keep doing this.
And you think, you know, I think like a lot of even Americans or people who are here, you don't realize how big the immigration system is. You think it's just this and that. But when I learned about like extraordinary ability or $1 million investments, I was like, dude, there's a whole world out here that people don't know.
So it's not only like what you're seeing in the news. Oh, it's like the poor Latino that needed help. It's just like like the extraordinary ability, like you've said, which I've seen that in other countries. It's like if you excel at something specific, and actually, me being in the food, I'll share this with you, and then you probably have more examples, but I think this is the only one I know, and it's of course food related. But Jaleo, the restaurant by Jose Andres, Chef Jose Andres, has a ham carver. She she only does jamón ibérico, and she cuts it. And she has extraordinary ability, visa and all this, and they had to present the case because it's a specialty to carve and cut the ham.
It's not unusual. It's a very unique skill. I've done extraordinary ability for tailors from Italy.
No way.
And then, of course, you know, I've even done cancer researchers, people who have like very specific surgical techniques. I mean, it's incredible, the people that I've helped, or green cement, recycling cement. So it's not done it. So I think, you know, if people knew that, even the handful of people I've helped, like what they're doing to this country, and what a reminder, or the people who've invested $1 million and are creating 30, 40 jobs, like it's so much more than that southern border and what you think. I mean, those people are important, right? Of course, they're trying to seek a better future, but to kind of wipe immigration as this one kind of genre area of law, it's not the case. I mean, we do investments, we do extraordinary, employment, labor law. It's, you know, I can geek about it for a while, I think.
I love it because, and, you know, low-key, this is one of the reasons I wanted you here.
Oh, thank you.
Because people are like, oh, immigration. Oh, no, these people are illegal and people are staying. And it's like, no, you're getting a pool of people that daily are making this country better. because of X, Y, Z. Like my example, and I'll put you, my story, just the part that's important for immigration. I had dual citizenship and I graduated college. I went to University of Virginia. Technically, I am American, but I didn't live in Virginia, so I had to pay out of state tuition.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, pay the whole thing. So I'm paying more than the person, that lived in the state.
It's like $1 billion industry.
No, yes. So I'm paying, $50K, the whole thing. And I saw, a lot of Americans, oh no, I did this, I did that. And they were paying $7,000, $10,000 for the same education. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm paying $50K. Oh my God. Thank you, Bobby. And then,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then when I graduated, I had the choice of, do I go back to Dominican Republic? Do I stay here? And for example, for me, it was a choice of like, oh, I think I would have opportunities in both. But for me, I was like, oh, day one in the United States, I could start making really good money and scale up. In Dominican Republic, to get to the starting salaries in the US, I would need 10 years.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm too smart to wait 10 years for the same thing. I want it now.
Yeah, give it to me.
Exactly. Give it to me. So I stayed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, for example, I could have chosen something different. So you have a lot of, that immigration that it's not necessarily, oh, we need a handout. It's like, no, I could be a grinder and a hustler and, do more for this right away. And
I see like my clients who are here pending asylum and they're employing 200 plus people.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're really remarkable. And like when I feel like, man, you're getting content or lazy, like get up. Like I could be doing more, because people out here have the drive and they're doing it. And, they're not taking jobs. They really are creating jobs.
They're creating more jobs.
And I have, data for that. That's not my opinion on the matter. There's data behind that, and it's a true situation. And people who are being employed are working in jobs that need to be filled. And in order to sponsor somebody, you have to go through the Department of Labor and make sure we're offering it to American workers first. So, I like to just weave these statements in here because a lot of people's belief is that they're taking jobs and there's no protection.
I know, and I hear that on social media. How do you debate that?
Yeah.
Walk me through. If I am just somebody that I'm like, no, they're taking my jobs.
I'd say you don't have the right information, and no offense, you're wrong. First of all, if you're an employer looking to sponsor an individual, we have to get the prevailing wage from the Department of Labor, which can take 6 or 9 months. So you have a job description, you have a job title. Department of Labor is going to say, okay, you must pay this individual $95,000. So we're not undercutting American workers. We're making sure you're paying them the same. And then you have to advertise the position for 30 days to make sure that no qualified applicants in the US meet the field. It's like a 3-year process many times, if not longer, to go through a permanent sponsorship through an employer.
So it's definitely more expensive. So if they did have Americans for it, they wouldn't even do the
process.
process.
Most employers don't want to deal with it, which is why a lot of these candidates, like you said, these geniuses might be graduating from our institutions. They go and they cannot get past the job interview because like, do you have the ability to work or do you need sponsorship? And then usually the interview stops right there. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of sad. And,
I know it happened to a lot of my friends.
So even like, President Trump's mentioning we should have some program for the graduates who graduate, because in reality, if we're educating people who are great, we shouldn't make it impossible for them to be able to stay here. Like even our physicians and our nurses, which we do know in this country, we have a shortage on. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're talking about, but.
No, so it's like basically what you tell the people saying they're taking our jobs, because
so
that's the rhetoric.
Right.
Like nowadays, I feel like, and I'm no expert, but guys, this is why I brought you the expert.
Oh, okay.
Because when I open the news, my social media, it's like alligator Alcatraz, like illegal, like they're not adding, they're taking. Like, for example, I know more of the finance and the finance portion. I'm like, okay, I do know that they're not taking benefits because
they don't qualify.
If you don't have a social security, you don't get benefits. But with a ITN number, which I'm a banker, I know that you can pay into it. So I know a lot of them contribute, but don't take out of it. So I'm like, you're wrong. But I know there's so many layers of things that today are noise, and people like me, your average person, or maybe not, because maybe I'm a little smarter.
Yeah, above average.
But the average person, it's very, even for me, it's very confusing. Like, let me read through this bill. Let me read through this act. What is true? What is not? What is factual? Like you're saying, you have data that they're actually creating jobs. Like, what can you offer as, solid information to all of these things that are very controversial nowadays, that
right. So
the average person is just swayed by a random post.
Well, the problem is the average person is no longer reading, right? There's a headline, there's clickbait. A lot of immigration attorneys I know,
a lot of they're not reading.
Even the immigration attorneys I know, I'm getting like screenshots of stuff and they're freaking out. And I'm like, well, did you read it? Like, the headline is terrifying. But when you start to deep dive into what's actually happening, okay, this doesn't even apply to most of our clients. Like, let's just take a second and calm down.
I love that. I love that answer. I love that.
Let's just take a second, you know, and read. And that's what I've been doing with all my clients, because for a lot of them, the sky is falling, right? And they have green cards and they're citizens and they still want meetings with me to see, can I still travel? And everyone's terrified because we have politicized it, we have dehumanized it, and the idea is terror and control is what is happening here. Because if they were taking jobs or weren't paying taxes, then why is the U.S. government using the immigration system relying on the IRS to share information? We thought immigrants don't pay taxes, so why do you need their information from the IRS?
I love that. Can you say that again? Why do you need the IRS if you say they're not paying taxes?
Right. So why does the IRS have information for them if they don't pay taxes? Right. It just a lot of noise, as you said. And we all need to take a second to pause. And you see these very historic clips of the 80s of Republican debates about immigration system, and everybody wants a logical solution, right? The immigration system has been broken for decades. This is not a new problem. This is not a President Trump problem. Immigration system is broken. And so now, whether or not you want to fix it or solutions or choose how you want to highlight, right now we've created a public enemy number one and a villain and a distraction and these immigrants. But I think we're seeing already some pushback because it's like getting too far.
I get too passionate, but I'm not a lawyer, so I like cut myself off.
Yeah.
But I see how they're like, oh, they're just gonna take the ones that are illegal, and then all of a sudden you see the headlines and see the videos that they're showing up at people's works and factories, and then all of a sudden you see your typical like Midwest white person. Wait, these are people that I employ. Like, take a step back, and you're like, so what is happening? What can we do? What's the process? Like,
I feel like a broken record.
I know, but I mean, it's very confusing. That's why I wanted you to kind of break it down, because for me, it's like, are they entitled to a due process? Are they not? Can you take them from the street? Can you not? What do they have to carry with them? Is this true? Like, it's just so much that I just wanted you to make it easy and digestible, because it is confusing as fuck, because every article or every source tells you something different.
And the honest truth is, a lot of times we don't even know anymore, right? I've been doing this 15 years and every day there's a new policy. Obviously, the big, beautiful bill, or immigration lawyers, we hate Friday nights. People used to love Friday nights. You know what happens? We know what happens Friday nights now? New forms, new policy changes, which means
at 6 p.m. No,
usually if you filed something Friday morning or Thursday, by the time it gets to USCIS on Monday, your case might get rejected because the form's expired or something, or the fees changed or policies changed.
Oh my gosh.
You have to be so diligent to constantly be aware of these changes. Like, I was in Miami last week for an asylum interview. And, after the next day, I'm like, I'm going to go to the beach. Then I get a text from my friend, the medical exam forms are expiring. So it's like, oh crap. Like, we have to call our clients who are going through marriage-based green cards or green card adjustment of status applications and be like, do you know which form your doctor used for your medical exam? Because if it's no longer valid, the case can be rejected or denied, and then you might end up in deportation proceedings. Like, it does really kind of snowball.
Because of paper, that it was changed.
Right. So now.
So why is it changing so rapidly?
We want legal immigration, or do we not? I think it's to intentionally make it difficult. It's intentionally to make it difficult. there's a lot of these people are paying thousands of dollars for their applications. If it gets denied, they have to pay it again. They can end up in deportation when it's denied, or removal proceedings if they're out of status. So for something
they're actually
trivial,
trying, and
right?
then
So
for a form expired, they
the
end
form
up
expired,
there.
right?
I know. So it's worse than what I thought.
It's actually not great. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I try everything possible to not be the sky is falling.
Yeah,
Immigration's
to be like
here.
That sound voice.
I try to be as reasonable as possible, and I wait until I have the evidence and I have the proof before I go say something that's factual.
I like that.
But
that's why you're the lawyer and I'm not.
I don't know anymore, but it seems to be everything is changing constantly. And if you don't pause, you yourself as the attorney might get caught up and become frantic too. And our job here is not only just attorneys, but counseling our clients through this terrifying process. And I have to make sure my team feels confident. We have to meet weekly to talk about what changes are coming and what's differently happening. And if you don't take a second to pause,
maybe it's screwed.
How can you taste the flavors, enjoy your meal? You got to pause, you got to chew, you got to process.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, so have you seen as many changes so rapidly in your 15 years of practicing law as you have now? Okay,
so I came into Trump 1.0 like that wasn't going to happen. He's not going to win. Okay, he won. Then we're like, okay, it's not going to be so bad. It was bad. So then,
did you have a lot of changes on his first term?
Yeah, but it was sloppy, right? So they had, by the administration, meaning just things that didn't make sense, and we had a lot of legal challenges. So Trump 2.0 is coming, and me and my friends who've now been doing this 15 years are like, it's okay, we survived the first time, we'll do it again. What's the big deal? But it's different.
It humbled you all.
It's different. It's calculated.
Because you think he has more experience and
they've
knows how
learned
to...
their lessons with the courts. The courts have changed. It's stacked. All these executive orders are kind of setting it up like dominoes right now in order to do this big, massive sweep that they would like to do. And so, yeah, it's definitely changing rapidly.
So it's more challenging than 1.0.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, I would think so. It feels different, more intentional, like harmful, to be honest with you, hurtful, because we didn't have masked men on the street grabbing people and putting them in vehicles and not knowing who they are. And I think what people need to take pause and take a second, if you're an American citizen, what the Supreme Court says applies to immigrants or to a person about their right to due process, that will eventually be applied to you. Like, that's how case law works. It's a factual scenario.
So it happens the same if you're like if you don't have your papers in order, they have to go through what process?
Well, I'm saying so we see the Supreme Court saying, okay, you can now deport people to countries that are not their own. That's now allowed. You can send somebody from Venezuela. You can now send them to El Salvador. Right?
So if I'm from Venezuela, I can be sent to El Salvador.
The Supreme Court said you can now deport people to a third-party country. That was just a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. For what reason?
So within their ability to do so. And then...
Is that because El Salvador, like the president was like...
It's not for a particular reason. It's saying that our government has the ability to remove somebody from the country if their home country is refusing to take them.
Got it.
Right?
Because some countries, I remember...
refusing to take them.
Yeah,
so we have the ability to get... So whatever. So then on June 11th or so, President Trump said, we're going to start focusing now on naturalized citizens to see who might have misrepresented something. But in reality, this is going to be a lot like what we saw with the Palestinian protesters or pro-Palestinian. Like if you spoke out against
Palestine
foreign policy
or like Israel and
right,
stuff.
Then can you now be considered a terrorist organization?
Oh shit.
Right? So then did you not put something on your application for your citizenship application that we can now say you misrepresented, so we can take your citizenship away? So for me, it's
is that happening? Is that in process?
Yeah, President Trump said that they are going to focus on denaturalizing naturalized citizens.
So it wasn't enough to take people to the streets that are
and the green card holders. So that's why for me, it's like you need to pay attention, folks. Like immigrants with no status, green card holders with the right to be here, now naturalized citizens. Who comes next? Citizens, right? So pay attention. And again,
ay Dios mío.
You know, and it's not like some of these people did not have any criminal history. Like that girl from Turkey, she wrote an op-ed. It's so.
So what was that case? Because I feel like there's so many that I've seen.
There was a lot where they were saying she, I think, was like a PhD student, one of these great students who wrote an op-ed about what she considered genocide and the genocide in Gaza that's happening, and they arrested her and detained her for a month or so. And so, but forget the fact that she's an immigrant for a second or an international student. She wrote something in a newspaper.
Yeah.
So where's our free speech, folks?
True.
So pay attention to there's so many levels to what's happening, and it's like a litmus test, right? And just why, if you might not agree with my opinion, but you should respect
your opinion,
our free speech.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's going to be a new president one day who might disagree with your opinion.
True. And
then one day, do you want to be on the other side of this? And we need to stop and think about how will this be applied to me, because at least humans are selfish. So maybe people need to learn and say, okay, how would this be applied to me, in order for them to take a second to pause and think about it.
Yeah, because they're probably like, oh, this doesn't affect me. So
right, what do I care? Scroll.
Yeah, screw them. And then until it affects them. And that's what I've seen. Until it affects them, nobody seems to care.
Right, when the egg prices go back up and all these other things. And now the farmers are complaining that they don't have workers. So then President Trump saying now, we got to do something. We got to find farm workers. We got to find a program. So it's like, which one is it?
I know. You sent the workers back.
Or they're terrified, right? Or they're leaving the state of Florida.
They're terrified. Yeah, because they want something else. Like, oh my gosh, wait. Speaking of pause, I also need a pause because this was like a lot.
Yeah.
I will give you a sweet surprise to lighten the mood and kind of just digest everything you said.
I know. I thought it was like a food show. What are we doing? I'm like, I thought we were talking about food.
Well, no, it's like the Chisme of the immigrants, because, I mean, I've always been in like a weird situation because I was, in Dominican Republic, but I was already very light skinned.
Yeah.
And then I'm here, but I'm not white enough. And then I'm like I've always been a minority in my own country and here.
Right.
For good or for bad. So, but I never have worked, in your capacity to kind of actually do things to help the immigrant community.
Yeah.
I do small other things, but not at your scale. So I wanted to have, the authority.
Okay.
But to digest and pause from all these things.
Yeah.
I have a little surprise for our guests because we want to bring people together, especially. It's knowledge, but bringing people together. So I have a little bit of the food from my country to kind of say thank you to you, and also show you maybe something that you haven't had before. Hopefully not. Or hopefully you already had it and liked it. Mm-hmm. But this is Dominican Tres Golpes.
Okay.
Which is mangú, queso frito, so fried cheese, salami, which you can't have, and fried egg. And then also I bought a kipe because I always love, it's super random, but I always love that, we have that from Arab heritage.
Yeah.
Also from immigrants moving to Dominican Republic. And we literally took the kibe from you guys and we call it kipe.
It's everywhere. The
I
food.
know.
And you go to Brazil, the Sfi has everywhere. Sfi
yes.
had trucks. I'm like, have you had Brazilian food? I'm like looking at people like they're crazy. I'm like, do you not? It's an Arab word.
I know.
But it's a beautiful thing, like you said.
I know. I love it. And literally, I eat kibe, which we call it kipe. I learned that it was kibe when I actually moved to the U.S.
Yeah.
So 18 years of my life, I thought kipe.
Hey,
and then I realized,
tomato, I guess.
I know, and I realized it was probably because we couldn't say kibe and we say kipe. So, and then we even, a lot of places you find tabule salad. It's like very, very common.
What's in this?
So mangú it's like a mashed plantain, but with potato.
Yeah.
And it has pickled onions.
It's like mofongo?
It's like a cousin of mofongo.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. But this is safer if you're in a no pork diet.
Is this a halloumi cheese?
No, it's like our white queso crema. It's like
Because we like fry a cheese like that too for breakfast. It's super salty, halloumi cheese, and it looks just like that.
It's similar to halloumi, but I think it's less salty than halloumi. Halloumi has more flavor.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I bring people from all kinds of cultures, and there's a lot of intersections of the food, and I feel like I love it. It brings people together. But I want you to try the mangú live.
You want me to chew into the mic?
Yes, of course.
ASMR.
The ASMR.
All right. Do I need to mix it with anything?
You can have with a little cheese, but
okay. Well,
just have the mangú. Don't worry.
All right.
I don't want you to mess up your outfit. We're not here for that. It's like different than the mofongo.
It's like lighter a little bit.
Yes, it is lighter.
Which is easier.
Because this is not fried.
Oh, okay.
Because the other one the plantain is fried, and a lot of times it has fried pork in it. So it's like heavier.
Like mashed up and just oily kind of.
Yes. Yeah. This is more boiled plantains and then smashed with like olive oil or
I could eat
butter.
Pickled onions on anything.
Yeah, and the pickled onions.
Uh-oh. Sorry about your couch.
No worries. They didn't see it.
Take a piece of cheese too. I'm actually hungry, so you might have to like give me a minute.
No worries. So yeah, it's like
delicious. Thank you.
I know. So that's like Dominican food, and you're probably the kipe. You're gonna be like, my grandma makes it better. But
what's your best Dominican spot here?
So this is from King, and it's actually one of my favorite Dominican restaurants because it just tastes more like what I grew up with. Some are more gourmet or fusions. This one tastes.
It's just like your mom's kitchen.
Yes, tastes like how they did it in my house. It might not be the best, but it just tastes how it was cooked in my.
Are you like a Mama Juana Brugal girl? Or
I like Brugal and I like Barceló too. I'm telling you, this Arab guy is dangerous.
So I was in Spain for a summer for studying abroad. And I lived in Cuatro Caminos in Madrid, which is like the Dominican barrio. And I was like drinking Brugal and going to the barber and all this stuff. And
so we could have done the episode in Spanish.
Yeah.
Diablo.
Only if we had Brugal first. Maybe my Spanish gets fluent.
You're fluent, and you could have been like, miren, soy su abogado de inmigración.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen your advertisements in Spanish.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot right now, please.
On Cimarron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Guys, I am like low-key like that stalker, and
well,
I bring.
Are you joking? The second you asked me to be on your show, I was like, yes, absolutely, I'm a fan. And you're like, can you follow? What was it? Faye said, you know, you should follow her. I'm like, no, I'm already following. She's a big time in our Orlando food scene, and I enjoy it.
I'm glad. No, I enjoy food. I enjoy travel, and I literally was going to eat at a Puerto Rican spot. And I saw your advertisement, and I saw that it was in Spanish.
My big cutout head on the billboard.
I know. I loved it.
The immigration officers like to be like, oh, I saw your sign. Why'd you make yourself look tall? I'm like, I didn't make myself look tall. It's a billboard. You know, they like to like. I'm like, all right. Well, what did you think? Like, no, it looks pretty good. So,
it does look pretty good.
Yeah, no, they're nice.
And I know, like, guys, everything's connected. It's so crazy. Even people that I know that have restaurants in Orlando, they're like, oh, he was my lawyer. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've had some restaurants on Cimarron.
No, and and even further than that. I'm telling you, I am paying attention. And it's so crazy because for me, of course, you know, a lot of the immigrants support each other. But for me, it's just so crazy to think, oh, it was the Arab guy that helped the Latinos.
Oh, do you know what had a campaign? It's El Árabe sabe.
El Árabe sabe.
It was like, who knows the answer to my questions? El Árabe sabe.
El Árabe sabe. That was good.
Thank you. I love some marketing.
That's really good marketing.
Yeah.
El Árabe sabe. Ya ustedes saben. El Árabe sabe.
Yeah, I thought so. Because a lot of times, like one of my clients was calling me that one time. I was really young and like brand new, and I like presented an argument, and like the other attorney who was at the bigger firm had a different argument. He's like, este árabe sabe cómo jugar, or something like that. He's like, he knows how to play the game. I like this árabe. And I'm like, all right, cool.
And that's like, you're like, el árabe.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think when I get burnt out, I like to spend time with my clients, to be honest. And
really?
sometimes they drive me crazy, right? Right now, everybody is so stressed out. And I guess when you take a second to pause and you understand, like, I'm like, please stop doom scrolling. Just your case is different. I will reach out, but then sometimes I'll just sit with them and like kind of catch up, what's going on. And they tell me like, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And a lot of times we can all get caught up in the noise and just trying to survive.
If I take one thing from this episode, and I hope all of you too, is just take a second to pause and not panic. The sky's not falling.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. In some parts it is, right? But
hopefully,
Right. Hopefully, the courts, there's challenges happening. There's a lot of avenues. And unfortunately, there is going to be collateral damage. When you fight or when there's like something that happens, people will get deported. People will lose. But hopefully we find our way. Hopefully there's midterm elections and things change. So we have to stay positive. You have to be diligent. It's not one of those things where you can ignore the problem. But just being in a pure panic, fearful mode is not going to help anything. It's not going to help.
Yeah. So. And what would you say is the thing that gives you the most satisfaction out of the work that you do?
I think when there's a really big uphill battle.
I'm going to eat the airport.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the cheese right now.
The fake airport.
The kipe.
Mm-hmm.
I think, a lot of times we try something different. Like, the extraordinary ability. We did one for like a fashion photographer one time because he like focused on the Latinx community. And so I made an argument about how that was in the national interest of the country. And it was COVID. And I made this argument like digital media is necessary when there's no.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was approved. It was like a young person who just starting his life, but like won some awards, and we were able to make that argument. So a lot of times it's scary to pushing Venezuela. So it's like you can push the envelope.
Venezuelans, you already know. Apparently, he prefers you guys. So
no,
hit
come on.
Hit el árabe.
My Colombian friends will get mad. There's always like because I think I might have more of a Venezuelan slang in my Spanish, but I think it's fun to push the envelope and to like deliver. It's really funny when we get like an impossible case.
Like, put me an example. Like, shock me.
Okay, so I had a guy one time who had like 7 marriages. And
so he really believed in love. He was not
romantic guy,
Very romantic guy.
Except the country he was originally from doesn't have divorce. So he was applying for citizen 20, 30 years later. And they're like, bro, you're not technically divorced from your first wife, which means all of your marriages after her were not valid. So we had to go through the different laws in different countries and then prove and then presented this whole case to the judge.
Can we say the country where he was from?
Yeah, the Philippines. They don't have divorce. I don't know if they do now, but back then, like 5-10 years ago, they didn't.
Wow.
And so,
oh my God, I didn't need to ask. I've had 2 Filipinos in the show. I hadn't
oh my God, where'd they go? Bring them back.
Know.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So, and then I remember presenting it to the case, and this judge retired now. He's like, there's 2 ways I look at your case. You are a scallywag or something who's been married too many times, or there's the case that your lawyer presented that's reasonable. And like today, I'm going to err on the side of your lawyer, and I agree with him. And we're going to grant your case, and we stopped his deportation. But it was like, I ended up arguing, well, technically, if there's no divorce in the Philippines, then he didn't need like a divorce like 25 years later. And that was what was in question for like his green card or something. So I ended up using their own arguments for when we needed it too. And it was, that's a cool case. And then
it was like super creative for you. That's awesome.
Right. And then sometimes you have cases and like it's impossible. The person has bad criminal history or it's very, very legally complex. And then you win and I call the client and I'm like screaming. I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe we got an approval. They're like, okay, thanks. And like they hang up like did they understand? What the miracle we just pulled? But I think sometimes people think in a lot of countries, if you pay a lawyer, it just gets done. And so maybe they don't realize that how much we did to get it done.
Can you say that again?
Which part?
In a lot of countries, you think if you pay a lawyer, it's done.
Yeah.
Listen, I grew up in Latin America. Definitely, that's the feeling.
Like, yeah, we hear you got like connections. I mean, I don't have connections. I would be a lot richer if you know what you're doing. You build a rapport, you build a reputation, and then that's what's important. But yeah.
That's so funny.
So a lot of times like, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, I paid you. Of course the case is approved. And like click. I'm like, bro.
You're like, you could pay me and still be denied.
Right.
That's so funny. That's another thing. Like culturally, it's like different. So.
And with the cultures too, you learn a lot about things about different cultures. Like in the Caribbean, a lot of the countries, they don't make eye contact with you at a sign of respect. So a lot of like Haitians or things will look down. But in our culture, American culture, we view that as like a disingenuous thing. So a lot of times you learn these different cultural traits and you have to kind of talk to your clients about it. Like, hey, the judge does want you to look at him in the eye or her in the eye. And it's a way to show respect and that you're telling the truth, you know, not because.
So you have to like kind of coach them and tell them the culture.
You learn a lot about different cultures and things, you know, just like.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's so many different things. And I like to take a look at my Jamaican client. She never lets me put my bag on the floor. It's like, that's bad luck. You're going to lose your money.
I know, same.
So now I'm like never putting my briefcase on it. I got you a gift, but it's.
And you put it on the floor?
But it's not like a purse. It's okay. You'll be okay.
Okay, we will survive.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to panic already. I guess I need to learn the pause from you.
Pause, take a breath. Yep.
I'm usually like explosive and then trying to find a solution, and then it's like, oh, okay.
You know, my family's going to watch this and be like, he is the most explosive person. And it's, you know, it's true. But like when it comes to work, it's like sometimes like, okay.
When it comes to work, you're probably different Nayef than at the family reunion. You're like, I don't need to.
Or I do. And then I'm like, wait, before I write an email or freak out, let me read a process. One of the hardest things to learn, I think, was not responding right away. You know, is just giving that pause, because then like settles emotions, something might be clear, not misinterpreted, you know? So.
Yeah. Listen, you don't have to talk to me. Like today I wrote an email. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Were you hungry?
No. I just thought it was BS what they told me. And I had been waiting for something and they didn't meet the deadline. And when they came with something that I was like, absolutely not.
Right.
And I went, wish this was communicated sooner, not happy. I didn't say hi, hello. I said nothing. I just said that. And then I was like,
that's still pretty nice.
But that's me like extremely upset.
Yeah. If you're like little words, they know.
Yes. If I am no words or very little communication, there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. Like if I am like, I probably rubbed it off. But if I speak very little, worry.
Yeah. Be concerned.
No, the person called me.
I think I'm like that too.
Yeah. So never know. Everybody handles emotions differently.
Right.
And you probably have to deal with so many people's emotions that you have to kind of.
Yeah, you know, I mean.
Do you feel like a counselor too sometimes?
I feel like a counselor. I feel like sometimes we have to absorb a lot of the client's stress. You know, sometimes it's not really fair.
And how do you decompress?
Oh, man. I wish I had healthier
The $1 million question.
I wish I had. And that was that big, deep breath I told you I was going to avoid. You know, it's tough. I'm still learning.
You're still learning?
I'm still learning.
But what are like small things that help you decompress?
I like to go on a walk.
Okay.
If like a couple things go wrong in the office and like I can't see anybody, I'll just leave the office without saying anything. Like, oh crap. Like you said.
Yeah, like, just walk off. No words.
Just go for a walk. Yep. Walking helps me. You know, I like being out and social in daytime. You know, it's not, you know, decompress, but.
Nice.
Learning to not look at my phone too much and things like that.
Not do the scrolling that you told your clients not
to. The doom scrolling. No doom scrolls. When clients hire us, I'll say, look, I don't want you on Reddit. I don't want you on TikTok. This, and this. Like, if you think you heard something on the internet, attach the law that goes with it. Don't send me somebody's TikTok where you think.
And you get sent many TikToks? Not
really. But when they do, I mean, I think we do a pretty good job of, you know, determining what our client relationship is going to be early on. You know, the clients just don't pick attorneys. We also pick clients, you know,
thankfully,
because it's going to be a couple year relationship. Even like the fastest immigration process is probably a year, and people don't realize that that's one of the fastest processes. Most cases might be a 2 or 3 year relationship. So
I feel like a lot of people don't know that it is a process, because one of the things that has made me so mad lately, it's like, oh, this person was in this country for 30 years. Why did they never like do the process? Why did they never fix it? yeah, why they never fix their status. And it's like,
Because our system's broken.
well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen also that, you know, they had like some exception before and it had already been renewed and then it wasn't renewed. And before you know it, I mean, why would you spend money and energy and do all these things if your life is going and it's broken? Like I put myself in their shoes and I'm like, if you told me I had to pay, what's an average cost of doing the whole process?
So
Market. You don't have to tell me your fees or anything. Market.
You know, the government fees alone for a marriage green card case are over $3,000. Just
over $3,000 for marriage.
For the government fees alone.
For the government fees, without the lawyer.
Without the lawyer. And I would say lawyers are probably between like 6.5 to 9 these days. So
let's say
10 to 12.
Yeah.
For a marriage green card.
So 10 to 12,000 for a marriage green card. And you're saying like, and if you look at the people that live, you know, paycheck to paycheck or how the economy is, like that's a lot. That's a big investment.
Somebody comes to you, even you have a good job, you tell somebody it's going to cost $12,000. It's not like most people don't have that handy.
No, they don't have that liquid. Like I read all these things that's like 70-80% of Americans, if they have $1,000 emergency, they can't cover it.
Right.
Let alone, you know, if you have to, you know, put 12 grand.
And you know, it's kind of sad. It's kind of on this note, but a lot of times immigrants are targets of crime because they keep their cash in their home and they're too scared to call the police, because if they call the police, are they going to get hurt? So sometimes people will rob these people of like their life savings.
I know. So that breaks my heart.
So we have things in the law, like if you're a victim of a crime, like U visas and things like that to help prosecute that. But it's like really sad and sometimes overwhelming to think about the different hurdles these people are facing, and they're just trying to here work and raise their kids, you know.
Oof, that's messed up.
Yeah, so I guess what's interesting about my job, I see that kind of dynamic, like those people, and then the multimillionaire people investing and creating jobs, and
you help both of them. You're
the
like
slice of life.
You see the whole spectrum.
My office is slice of life. I just got up. I had a consultation today. Somebody's gonna wire $800,000 cash to a project, and they'll get a green card in about 2 years, a year and a half. And the other one is
and those are people that are like
job creation, EB-5.
Yeah, so they live in another country, but I'm gonna expand the company or the project, and in exchange, I want my
green card. Yeah. So and then the same day, so that was this morning.
But 800, well, wasn't, again, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Because I heard, you know, Trump wanted like one that was like a $5 million ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, where is that? Or did he drop that? Is that old news?
I mean,
that's not moving forward.
He just mentioned it again last week that they're creating a wait list. So I like made a reel. I'm like, why are you gonna do $5 million? Do it for 800,000. But we still have no idea what it is. I just think he likes to have his name on some process that already exists and call it gold.
Got it. So he just wants to take credit and make it like shiny and out there.
I haven't really heard about the details. I don't think they really know what the details are about it yet.
Got it.
But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, because the ones I've heard are like started like at 400,000 or something like that.
800,000 and $1 million.
And $1 million. Okay.
That's the direct path to residency. So yeah, I mean, like today I did a consult for that, and then another person.
So you see basically all sides of
a Brazilian family who was scammed, and this lady's crying in front of me. You know,
shit.
all in the same day. You know,
oh my God.
So it really is a slice of life. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah,
slice. No pun with the.
I know, with the slice of cheese that he loves.
Yeah.
Now we know. El árabe le gusta el queso frito.
Yeah.
So if you want to make.
Who doesn't like fried cheese?
I know, it's good.
Kind of set me up for that.
I know. Just as we wrap up, just wanted to see if there's something random that it's not obvious from following you, from out there, like something that you want to share that probably people don't know about you.
I like to, well, maybe they know, but I'm kind of following my father's footsteps. I like to garden.
You like to garden?
Yeah, if I can find some time. So I think being like from Palestinian farmers and things, my dad is big in gardening. Like in my backyard, my father's backyard, we have fig, we have guava, we have mangoes. I mean, so many different vegetables and mint. So I mean, I live downtown, so my land is like this big, but like, so.
But you're like, I'm making it work.
Yeah, I'm like, I have like a corner. I'm like, this is an avocado tree here. It's like a smoothie corner. There's a lime tree, but you know, just like kind of working there. And I think because you have to use your hands, you can't hold your phone right? I'm addicted to my cell phone, right? So you put your phone down to garden, like for that 30, 40 minutes, you're just kind of present and enjoying yourself. And I wish I did more of that. So maybe to answer your question about decompressing, I'll go back to trying to make sure that I do that. So
you see,
full circle there.
We helped the audience.
Thank you.
We helped you decompress.
This is a therapist couch.
Listen, I need you to last longer because I love, you can't burn out, because I would love to see you continue to grow and help just the country, Central Florida, the state, because I feel like you have the knowledge and the tools, you know, that people are like so quick to be like, well, they were at a status, but you are kind of the person grinding day in and day out to make sure people are in status.
Right. And sometimes people, you know, love having a conversation with people who are politically different. And when I explain it to them that way, they're like, damn, that is kind of messed up. Like, I like to be as matter of fact as possible. It doesn't help to just have feelings, right? But like, you present facts and procedures and like explain, how would you feel if you were granted something for 5 years, then the president changed and then they took it away and now you're out of status?
And now you're out of status. Exactly. It's not like, you know, it's not like you meant it.
Right. You were promised this time period. Shouldn't we at least honor our promises? So
I love that. I love that. So what did we learn? To pause.
Yeah.
We learned que el árabe sabe. That was my favorite.
I have to find the
absolutely.
You know, I'll send you. There's like the radio ad. It's like, ¿Quién puede ayudarme con eso? El árabe sabe.
El árabe sabe. And now you know, no doom scrolling. Look at the law.
And don't use your cousin's friend's sister to fill out your paperwork. That's my big lesson. The notarios, the people who are doing things and messing people up years later.
Oh, shit.
You're signing, you know, not knowing, you're signing that form. And that form is a declaration that you know what you're doing and what you're signing. And ignorance of the law is not a defense. So please be careful. I'll finish there.
Love that. So if you have any more questions, drop it in the comments. And ya ustedes saben, this chisme was different, but it was very insightful. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next episode.